Hello everyone, this is Lais from Be Happy Now, and today I'm excited to interview Delphine Combe, who's an expert in relational communication. So thank you so much, Delphine, for taking your time.
Yeah, thank you, Lais, for inviting me.
Of course, it's my pleasure. And today we're going to focus on relationships at work, communication at work, and how we can improve it. Because I know I had a tough time when I used to work in corporate many, many years ago. It was a tough time, and I just didn't know how to make myself listened or how to bring my message across and all sorts of issues. So I wished I had known Delphine's method back then. And Delphine is going to teach us this method in this webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Delphine, welcome. And I'm going to hand over to you. I know Delphine has some PowerPoint slides she wants to share with us.
Yeah, I will actually share some PowerPoints with you and also give you a few visual examples of, what can be done.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Great. So let's start to share this PowerPoint and see what happens. You're going to have to tell me if you see something.
Yes, I do. It's there.
Okay, wonderful. So it's called the ESPER method, just for information, and it's a Frenchman called Jacques Salomé who created this method. I enjoyed and had fun to actually study this for 2 years before I was actually able to then, use it for work or family relationships, or I use it also a lot with kids, tell you the truth. But we are going to concentrate today on work, which is a big thing. I agree with you. I had the same issues when I was working, and I wish I had this method before. But, you'll learn. Okay, so let me actually try to talk to you a little bit more about the method itself. ESPER in French means really, an essential, effective communication we should all actually have, and it's not always the case. But what happens, and we all actually have a tendency to be this way, we actually are more in the SAPPE method, a method at work or anywhere else, which means we're deaf, blind, pernicious, perverse, not all, but some, we know, and energy consuming, this type of things where you go to work and you're like, why am I doing this? Why are they asking me to do this again? I've done it. And no, the other person's been doing it also. And you kind of get mad because you're like, what am I useful for? That's an example. Perverse will go on that. I'm going to show you some next slide and you're going to understand. So if I actually go back to the slide itself, I wanted to actually spend just a little time with you to make sure that we agree that we have certain needs at work, relationships. And this, I think, is something I really like. It says, whatever my job is, I need to be recognized as a person in my own right. I also need to be valorized and gratified by what I do. I need to be informed and consulted as regards of the development of my work. I need clear, constant positioning from those in authority. I need a clear and ambiguous engagement regarding my rights and responsibilities. I need to have my point of view heard. I need to give an account of my work directly to a responsible person in order to evaluate the results. And I need to be passionate about my work and to have goals and projects. And the last one is, I need to remind everyone that I'm selling 8 hours of my life whilst working and that I'm conscious of the quality of my life during that time.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds nice.
That sounds nice. That's the ideal. Okay? But, and of course, when people read this, that's going to say, yeah, right, half of it, I can't get to it. But this is interesting. How can I get to it?
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's really like little tools that will help you to do it. So let me show you what we have next. Wait a second. My little mouth is like acting up. Here we go. So what do I do if I actually want to take, action to get in better relationships? How often are you at work? And I'm just going to give you this example. And, you have someone coming to you saying, so-and-so has said that, this part of the job should be done differently, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
This is complete crap.
I agree.
Okay. And how about having direct conversation with people?
Yes.
So here the first point is that what you have to renounce and give up on is give up indirect communication. In a relationship, I'm going just to actually stop for a second the PowerPoint and I'm going to show you something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that in a relationship, there are 3 people, if I may say, that are concerned. So you see that little red ribbon is actually to show you at this end of the relationship, there's one person. At the other end of the relationship, there's the other person. And there's the relationship itself that you have to be taken care of. If you don't, it won't work. So I'm just going to give you an example. It's really simple. I'm going to take 2. Oops, one fell. I'm going to take another one. That's okay. Got plenty. These are my little tools. So let me introduce, this is me. Hello. How are you? Me at this end of the relationship. Okay, perfect. And now this is the other person at the other end of the relationship. So here we are in a relationship. So at work, what's important is not to say, okay, I'm going to be now taking a third person. And this third person right here, why not? Coming to me saying, oh, this is what the other person has said, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to work because it's actually going to create knots in the relationship.
Yes.
I may say. And we don't want that. What we want direct ones. So that was important for me to show you this. This is often an issue. So let me share again my PowerPoint. Can you still see it? Yes. So we say, second, which is quite clear, stop gossiping about others. Don't you hate when it's actually someone coming to you and telling you, you know what I heard? Oh, and this person, blah, blah, and she's not happy. Gosh, yeah. I wish people would just, stop this. I wish I wouldn't have done it at some point in my life, either at work. Because it doesn't, I don't know what you think, Lais, but no, we don't want that.
No.
So gossiping is definitely something that is energy consuming.
And just bad energy in general.
Oh, definitely. Then we actually say, visualize that every relationship has 2 ends. This is perfect. This is the example I just gave you. We have one person here, one person there, and the relationship. And here it says, stop thinking in the place of the other. I'm going to give you quite a good example. Your boss comes to you and is actually asking you to do something. You have an Excel sheet that you have to fill in and do some statistic and give it back to him. He actually comes to you and tells you that he needs it quite urgently. Doesn't say more than leave the office. Okay. And then what do? You start telling yourself, gosh, I should have told him that, I might not be able to do it on time because I have this other project. But if I tell him, he might take it wrong. Mm-hmm. Or, he might think I'm a loser, whatever. What are you doing right there? You're thinking for the other person. You're absolutely not thinking about yourself. So this is not the thing to do. So you have to actually stop thinking for the other person. Start thinking at your end of your relationship and what is important to you. And the other person is big enough to actually say what he has to say. Mm-hmm. But then we come to something else, which is, are you willing to hear what the other person has to say? That's
Right.
another thing.
Yes.
But we'll come back to that. Then we say, give up looking for approval. Why are you always looking for approval? This is so human. We all need recognition, don't we? We all need to be loved.
Yes.
All right? But if we do this on a regular basis at work, what's going to happen is we're always going to do more and more and more, and it's never going to be enough.
Right. I have a client actually who got himself an ulcer because he was giving 1,000% at work. 100 wasn't enough for him.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he completely stopped thinking about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's really that recognition that you need to understand. We all need it, but at some point, stop looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop looking at what isn't important to you. As you said for your client, if he would have actually been more, he would have paid more attention to his end of the relationship and not his need of recognition, he would have seen, the alert that would tell him, it's not exactly what I need to do right now. I need to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But the approval and the recognition is so big that you don't go for it. You just, continue until you get sick. Here it says, by affirmative, by taking the risk of not being approved of. Again, we come back to what I said with the previous example. If my boss is actually telling me to do something, okay, and actually I know perfectly this is not possible to do it in such a small time. And so I actually have to take the risk to tell him, I'm sorry, what you're asking me, this is his request, okay? So it's going in through there, and I'm going to tell him I'm sorry, but it is not going to be possible to do it the way you want it to be done. Am I willing to take the risk to not be approved by my boss? Am I willing to actually listen to him telling me, oof, you know what? I have someone above me that is asking this result quite quickly. What can we do about it?
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? But then, wait. It's not an excuse that someone above is asking for something else. All right. Stop questioning the intention of others and the meaning of their behavior. Yeah. How many times have you seen this for yourself, or have you seen this at work, where you are actually questioning the intention of the person who's coming to you and actually maybe telling you, that he had a meeting with someone, and maybe that the project that you're working on is not really going the way it should be, and it's because the other person is actually not thinking exactly the same way, and it starts to go on and on and on and on. And then you say, but when he was sitting and looking at me, I could see that he wasn't happy.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay. Maybe it's completely something else. Maybe it's because he had a bad departure in the morning, maybe it's something completely different. But you start giving a meaning to others' behavior. No, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. The other one is an interesting one. And Laisa, I don't know if you're going to agree with me, but people have a tendency to enjoy confrontation.
They do.
So it's on a regular basis, people are going to just come and say, so you said this, and no, it's not true, and blah, 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 and they start to fight.
Yes.
Yeah, great, wonderful, huh? We love it. But what about, being in a different type of relationship with people where you're able to express your point of view against others without being in confrontation? I'm going to give you a few tools for that, but this is a little more positive for yourself and others, because they'll realize that you're not here to go against them, and you will realize they're not here to go against you, and you will be able to build together. So that's important. and the one which says accept to work upon one's personal development. So Laïs, how do you take that yourself when you read something like this? What would you say? Accept to work upon one's personal development.
Yeah, I think it's so important that we recognize what our strengths are and our weaknesses, and that we just keep improving ourselves.
And have you ever seen with your clients, and because I see this often, that people do not even know the value they have?
That's true. Sometimes they don't know.
This is part of the actual, personal development path. This is so important to know what you're good at, and to actually, recognize yourself on that. Because if you don't, there's going to be issues, because you'll never actually pursue what you want.
True.
So, yeah. All right. So let's see for the next one, what we have. I want to say something here. I'm just going to let it go and say that we all have like bad habits that consume our energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And here I'm just going to go on that. We're going to give example to it, but just to say, at work, I can raise my hand and say how many times I have people tried to put guilt, you should be doing it, and because if you don't, it's not going to look good. Yeah, thank you. The threats like, you have to do it. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble. Things like that. Being blackmailed, I've done it too. I mean, not myself, but I went through that. The demeaning, people telling you that the other person is better, and demands, which a demand can be okay, but it's the way it's often done. So on the next one, just to laugh a little bit with people, I'm giving an example. Here it says, if you don't finish this by today, I'll tell human resource you've been coming late.
Yeah.
That's a good example, huh? So then we don't want that. And then threats. If you speak to me like that one more time, I'm going to report you. That's another one. This one actually is a little, it's not work related, because I couldn't find the guilt one, but here it says, it's a funny one. The mom who's calling her daughter and says, hello, dear, I'm not feeling very well, and I was expecting you to come and get the medicine for me yesterday. I know you're very busy. That's the guilt part. But it was too icy for me to go out in the car. Oh, and the other guilt. Luckily, your sister passed by and went to the chemist for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had my pills. And here, the last guilt, she always seemed to find the time to see me, even though she has 3 children. That's the good one. I like this one a lot, even though it's not really work related, because we can relate to things like this. Okay, this one for me, oops, I posed it too quick. It says, really, all I ask, it's actually, I went too quick. I'm sorry, guys. It's coming. Here it is. So all I ask is for you to take a bit of initiative. My last secretary would have done that in 10 minutes. Now I have to do it myself. This is really bad criticizing. I have seen this so many times in the office. I don't know you, Laïs. Yes. And this is something, if you hear this on a regular basis at work, and you actually keep this on you, I'm going to give you an example. Imagine if you have a boss or more than one boss who does that to you. Think about it. Imagine this is one thing that has been said to you. It goes here. And then you have another one. It goes there. And then another one right here. And then you continue like this. And at the end of the day, imagine, are you able to function properly?
No,
I don't think so. Okay? So I'm going to show you how you can actually get rid of things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. demands you should be more proactive if you want them to consider you for that job. You know, I mean, this is a demand, might not be the truth, but it's a demand someone might have.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about something which really annoys me. And this example, I mean, it's very visual, and I'm just showing you, as you can see. Here we go. I'm just going to pause it. Sorry. Something is going on. It's the mouse.
Don't worry.
I'm coming back to it because this is important for you to see this. Mm-hmm. Here we go. I'm almost there. This day-to-day lack of communication really brings us to something. Here we go. I'm just going to now be able to pose. I don't know if people that are in a management position do understand that when they act like this man on this, on this PowerPoint slide, that he actually creates so much damage to the people that he is in relationship with. By being a strong, domineering, person who abuses, he really creates people to become victims and to get sick. And I think it's important to help managers to understand that it is not the way to work. But sometimes people are in power because they haven't learned that they can actually just, be trusted and trust other people. It comes often to a fact, and I'm sorry to say this, if people are looking at it and you're managers and you sometimes feel you're in power, but ask yourself, when you don't give the power at your, at your team, why don't you do so? Why? What is it that you're afraid of? Once you start actually really getting close to the fear you have or not letting go of something, you can, then start to put in place some small tools that will help you to let go and to be to trust your team, I would say. So this is important because, if you go to this one, I mean, it's really, I'm sure it's the case of many people we meet when they come to us, Laïs, but how many times, this is the type of relationship we see.
Very often, yes.
And people come to you and they feel they don't exist anymore. And no, it is not like this that it should work. And it is possible to actually learn to do it differently. So yeah, and I don't know, becoming a victim is not good. So what I would like people to ask themselves when they actually start thinking about at work how they are treated, it's in every area of their lives, honestly. But here, I'd like people to just think about what they see here, which is we all have fundamental needs in relationships in general. We eat, we sleep, but what are the other needs in relationships completely, it is the need to say what I think. So at work, I need to say what I think. And if I'm not able to, then I might get out of work and, start being aggressive. That's an example. Or not talking to my family, or because I can't say what I think in general. So it's going to continue outside as well as at work. Then the need to be heard when I express myself, which is not an easy one. How many times I have tried myself to come to, my colleagues or boss and said, I'd like to tell you something about an idea I have. And so, but I wasn't heard at the level I wanted. So this is also I would say a challenge for us to learn how to do this. The need to be accepted as I am, that's a tough one in the office.
Yeah.
Because have you noticed how many times have you been yourself at work? So you can't be accepted the way you are if you actually play a different, character. And I know how many times I've seen people telling me, I cannot be myself at work.
Mm.
So then how do you want people to accept you the way you are? So this is something important, Laïs, and I'd like people to understand. You don't have to play a game when you're at work. It's when you are yourself that you will give the best of who you are. And it's not because I'm going to be working in a very, prestigious bank or insurance company, or I'm going to be working for the UN, or I'm going to be working for a small, company, that things are going to be different. I have to be true to myself to be able to be accepted the way I am.
Very true.
Very important. The need to be valued, yeah, we come back to this, need of recognition and so, but then we can see that actually it's not coming from others. How do I value myself? We actually spoke about it just a little before, Laïs, when we said, how many times people actually do not even know how much they're worth it. So this is so important. The need for a space to dream in. Some of you are going to say, wait a second, we're talking about work. We're not supposed to dream. Yeah, of course we are. I mean, how nice it is to just think that maybe you're going to be working on a different project at some point because if it's of interest to you, or you might want to get that other job that will actually give you more responsibilities. This is important to be able to do so. The need to hope. Yeah, I hope I'm going to get a raise. Yes.
Yes.
That need to hope is important. And this is then something that you need to also work on. If you stop hoping, change job. And then you have the need to have an influence and to be creative. Do you remember that movie, the Charlie Chaplin movie, where he actually had to just do the same thing over and over and over and over again? And he just got out of it completely mad. He didn't have a chance to actually use his influence or be creative at all. He needed to repeat something, over and over and over and over again. You need, in any task you have at work, at some point, to be creative.
So true.
If you are not, if you can't influence it, I'm going to be saying something stupid. I'm going to be talking about an assistant who's just going to change the formulation on a letter. It might change the day, and the person's going to receive it might say, hey, this is different. I like it. This is an idea. I mean, the way you know how we are in companies, we all say, I'm going to be using the templates. Sure. In that templates, you might be able to do something. You might be able to say what you think of it or play with it differently. I mean, these are all important things. When you are a manager, try at some point to have some influence by your creativity with people. And if you haven't touched that creative part of yourself, then this is something to work on. Definitely.
Yeah, I love this point.
Yeah. With Laïs, without creativity, there's no life. I don't know if you agree with me, but
I do, 100%.
And we can be creative in so many different ways. This is what's interesting. So I'm just going to go through this, and then we'll just pause completely, and I'll just talk about one or two tools. I really want you to remember that in every relationship we are three. Okay, so there is 1, 2, 3. And we should say how to nourish this relationship rather than pollute it. And then it says, I need to look after the relationship at my end, which comes back to what I said earlier. And here it says, think of me. Because, and I'm going to come back to you now. I want to make you laugh.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay. This is the two ends of the relationship. Not going to be, I have two ends, so I can't use, the But if at one end, you know, I'm actually going to send some love and understanding and, you know, recognition, this end is going to keep it and nourish it and, you know, do something with it. But if now, where's this beautiful thing? Look at that. This is quite ugly, huh? If I now actually send toxic things on the other end of the relationship, what happens if I keep it? That's what people need to understand. What happens often, they keep it and keep it. It's exactly the same example I give you with the Post-its all over me.
Yeah, they get sick.
They get sick, period. So you need to learn to actually send it back where it's coming from. Very important. So I'm going to give you an example. Very simple. I'm in a toxic relationship at work, and the person says, gosh, this is the third time I'm actually explaining this to you. I think you're an idiot. You never understand anything. So hear all the things that has been said and sent on the other side. You're an idiot. You never understand anything. Wow, that's a lot. What to do in cases like this? Oh my goodness, you know, I don't know if I have heard you well, but I understand that you think I'm an idiot and I never understand anything. But you know what? This is your point of view, and I live this with you. Boom. Period. Done.
A nice example from your own life where you were showing a poster behind you in the office. Can you explain what you did?
The poster. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I was at work. Yes, it's true. I've told you that. I was at work, and the person actually, you know, came, and I think that person wanted a big confrontation with me. And she started telling me that, you know, I was all wrong and everything. And I had a poster right on the wall with a specific picture. And you know what I did? That picture was always on my wall, but people don't always pay attention. But that picture really showed how much crap the person was actually sending to me. So I can't show it to you. What I did is I actually took that poster and I said, you know, look, this is the way you're behaving right now. That is actually not okay for me. And I'm just.
What was on the poster?
I have several ones. So once I know I've actually gave someone a how do you call it? It was a bomb, you know, something wrapped in and the bomb looked really ready to explode. And I wanted the person to see what she was actually doing by her, you know, way of talking and being aggressive and everything. Is like, look, this is about to explode and this is going to be major damage here. Anyway, what's interesting is that the person kind of thought I was crazy, but went back to her office, and the day after she came back, and for some reason she wasn't aggressive anymore, because she actually was able to visualize it. Not only me talking to her saying, you're being aggressive, because if I would have said this, she would have really been in confrontation. I actually told her, look, this is what you've done is so aggressive, and so this is what's going on, and I can't take it. I'm just giving it back to you. Do what you want. And, you know, it calms them down. I could have done this also. I said, this is something that people need to learn, is that when someone actually does it, criticize, and it's to actually say, look, is this really what you meant? This is really what I heard. That way it gives a chance to the other person to repeat, maybe with different words. Maybe not, because if she's angry, she won't. She'll go on and on, then, you know, conversation is over. But it sometimes gives a chance to people to reformulate what they said, which is a good thing to do. So I would actually say to people, you know, instead of being like, oh my God, this person is awful. First of all, it's not the person, as this is important. The person, if this is the person, the person's going to have different behaviors. Don't ever say the person is awful. Say her actual behavior is not okay, because what she's behind is someone totally different. And that's important to remember. Okay, so if I actually share this once more, I'm just going to show you one more thing. And this is just simple rules that people can work on simply. So if I told you that I have to think about my end of the relationship, that means I'm becoming responsible. I do not put myself as a victim anymore. So I need to say what I put in the relationship I'm responsible of. So Laïs, if for example, you know, I actually tell you something not very nice, I'm being toxic, I'm responsible for it. I better be responsible to then take action to reverse it, and maybe come to you and say, look, Laïs, I know the way I've spoken to you the other day wasn't okay, and I would like you to just, you know, get rid of this negative impression that I've given you. I'm also responsible for being hurt by what I receive. See, this is so simple to say to the other person at work. I think I have a very good example. I'm someone who went through how do you say, I was going to say bullying, but it's a little, at work it's different. Someone actually came to me one day and said, Delphine, you're amazing. We want to keep you. And I know you're a mother on your own, so I'll always make sure that you are going to have a job and everything. 6 months later, they got rid of me without telling me. And the same person who actually told me this, who's of course a pretty high manager, he's even a director, when he actually came across in the corridor, when he came across me in the corridor, he wasn't able to look at me at all in the eyes. And of course I was hurt, and I felt that it was a real bad injustice behavior that this man has actually told me 6 months ago, I'll do everything for you to keep the job. And then he got rid of me, and he can't even look at me in the eyes. But I told myself, wait a minute, am I supposed to be hurt and stay with this? Or tell myself that, you know, okay, this happened. I know I have been able to say this is injustice. Now I'm going to have to move on. See, that's the difference. And this is where I say from growing through what I receive. So actually, I'm going to say that my first feeling was being hurt. And then I decided to grow from this. So this is important.
Yeah, people tend to take everything so personally and then find it hard to let it go. That's true.
And you know why? And I'm just going to actually come back to this. Hold on for a sec. I'm going to tell you, this is interesting.
See your screen though, if you want to share something.
Okay. So I'm going to, do you see me now? Yes?
I see you, but not your screen.
Okay. I want to say something here. See, I didn't share. You can't see my screen, huh? Can you?
No.
No. Okay, let's see if it works now. Can you see it? All right. See? Right here. So, as you can see, this is what I said, huh? I need for being hurt by what I receive, for growing through what I receive. So the example I've given you was really strong because, I mean, injustice is part of what people live in, most of the time in lives. We have different levels of things that we live. And if you, as you said, if I take it so personally, I'll always be hurt and I'll stay there. But then I can say to myself, okay, fine. Yeah, I've been hurt. And now it is time for me to actually go to a different level. And then I'm just going to say, yeah, I want people to take control of their needs. I'm not going to wait for others to control them. If I don't go and talk to someone that I'm actually, in need of changing jobs or having more responsibility, and I just wait things to come to me, nothing's going to happen. And this is, I move from accusation to clearly stating my needs. Instead of going to someone saying, you behave this way with me and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and being all mad, then you just go to, you know what? I need to better understand what you are expecting to be able to do my jobs. And this comes back to the chart that I've shown you at the beginning. And I give a meaning to the message I receive. So this is me giving a meaning to it and not, trying to think for the other person. That is also very difficult. I do not control the other end of the relationship. I am not responsible for their suffering, for their feelings. And here, I'm just going to show you. If I actually, and I like this one, it's going to make you laugh also. This is, we could have used the other one, but in a relationship, okay? If I feel this way, not going to say the word, if I feel this way and I stay like this, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be able to do anything. So I'm going to have to let go of this and I'm going to offer something else, maybe more lively, or that's not lively. I'm just looking at all my, maybe I'm someone who needs to, a little more amusement and stuff and creativity, as we said. But that's my responsibility. Do I want to actually keep this? Or I want to get rid of that and take this in my hand? The question of choice. And I just don't think that people, I just think that people sometimes think they don't have a choice, but we do.
True, we always do.
It's so important. So going back to this. And if I come back to the responsible for suffering and feelings, if on my side, I actually tell someone, I'm sorry, guys, but this is not working. I've been honest. I'm telling them it's not working. If I'm afraid of actually telling them that, I can actually stay on and on in a work relationship, where things are not going to work because I'm actually taking care of their own feelings and suffering. So this is important to also be able to be clear and not feel responsible. It's okay to end something which is not working. But that's something that people sometimes have trouble with. It's also the way they do it, which also hurts often. I do not think for the other person, so I don't pay attention to their acts. I don't ask something already assuming what their reply will be. And I don't imagine their feelings. This is the thing that we already spoke about, but I've clearly said all these things.
Yes.
I let go of my desire to change the other person. Okay, at work, how many times do I actually think the person is going to change and be better or so? And in other relationships also. So I'm just going to say here, this is important to say who they are, and, they stay, I'm just going to come back to this one, I let them who they are. I let them I let go my desire to change the other, but I also say, I just want to move on to the next one. That's me. Suivant. Sorry. Yeah. Now it's actually moving forward. Sometimes I'm going to tell you, it's weird, but my mouse is acting up. I'm telling her to move that way, and it's actually going this way. And I'm like,
communicating differently, isn't it? The mouse.
I'm not communicating really well with her right now. I can tell. And I'm just gonna go back. I'm almost there. Just even if in the power, yeah. See, I wanted to say the following. I wanted to say people need to. I'm back with it. Here we go. It's a question of habit. You go back, you play with it, and so. But anyway, so yeah, I was gonna say, don't change the other person. This is what I was actually, telling you. And what's important here is to say what they send in the relationship. If I actually don't think this is correct for me, I'm not going to actually tell the person, this is what you should be telling me. I'm just going to say how I feel. This is it. And, I'm not going to go I'm not going to take care of their desire. I have to take care first of mine. If our desires meet each other, then it's different at work. But, sometimes, I don't know if it's been your case, I've been working with people who wanted to maybe be shown as the best in the team and everything, and they kind of took over the work of 2 or 3 people. Well, that was my turn to say, look, I understand that it's your need, but we're a team. We need to work together. And I understand definitely that you need to show that you're the best, but nope, it's not going to work. Even in a power relationship, as we say. So, okay. Makes me love this thing. I speak of myself to the other person. I'm just going to quickly go to this one, but I'm just going to pause and say I refuse to speak about the other. So we come back to what I said. I'm clear about my needs. I express what I feel. I avoid generalizations, and I don't mix up relationships. This is my resume. Mm-hmm. This is things that people should really think of. And, I invite people also to confirm and invite people. When you are a boss, this is something you should always do. They need to tell their feelings. How many times, Laïs, and I don't know, I keep receiving now young people, which I'm very happy about, because it looks like they want a fresh start in life and they don't want all the crap that we actually grew up with and so. But how many times do I ask someone I ask a young person and an adult, 40 years, 50 years, and then tell them, okay, can you tell me how you felt with when this person actually told you that you were not worth it? And I have people puzzled, not being able to answer. It can be a child, it can be actually an adult, and going to be like, well, I don't know. No, tell me in your body what it felt like. Can you tell me? Did you felt that you had a stomachache, headache, that your throat was dry? And then as soon as you connect people to this, they're like, yeah, so I felt actually, I couldn't speak anymore. Okay, all right. And then, were you upset? Were you sad? Oh, yeah, you know what? I was really sad. Oh, good job. And you need to help people to connect to all these things. But this is something that once you should be doing it all the time. Wait a second, something is happening here. How do I feel? Ooh, my body's reacting weird. Okay. Oh God, this makes me really angry. Oh, yeah, okay. And what do I need? Because then the last thing is your need. It makes you angry. Why? Because I need recognition, for example, and I don't get it. And once you actually have these three things, you know, which is physically how I feel, then the second one, which is, oh, okay, what emotion is this? Sadness, anger, you know, joy. And then the last thing is, oh, so what do I need? If we learn to do this in our lives, I am telling you, Laïs, there is no more confrontation with people. Because we are in confrontation most of the time because we stay with our emotions without being able to say what our needs are behind. So if I'm angry and I'm able to say, oh God, this is because, you know, this person really did not respect me. Okay, all right, so what is it that I need? I need to be respected. Okay, what do I do to be respected? And then you can start working on it. And at work, this is so important. That's it.
Very true.
So this is going to be my last slide for you is this one. In general, people laugh when I put this on. So I'm just going to show you. For healthy relationship, if you actually, you know, I'm going to say, if you actually take care of all the things we went through today, which is, I mean, it's a lot, huh, Laïs, when you think about it. It's not going to happen overnight. We have bad habits, we need to put in place new ones, that's all. But once you know, then it's easy. But, you know, look at that. Don't you want a life with all this?
Yeah.
Isn't it great? You know? And this is not, you are not looking at someone else to give it to you, even at work. You're creating this for yourself. And I think this is the best thing. Self-esteem, self-confidence, self-determination, self-affirmation, self-love, creativity. All we need to feel alive and happy.
Love it.
That's it. So for me, this is an example of all that.
I love it, and how we have to bring it back to us and work on ourselves.
I agree. I mean, and this is the most important thing. We always look for the other person to give us the response, but the response is in us.
So true.
And this method is a method for people to become more actors of their lives than, you know, just an audience looking at what's going on, and it's so important.
Basically helping them to be empowered, to empower themselves.
It is definitely to empower yourself. And I mean, we've done it through a video today, but I love doing workshops and seeing the energy of people together and showing examples and you know, simply the thing, how to say no. Well, first of all, how to say no, I have to know what's going on in me. Am I okay with what's going on? But if I've never said no in my life, well, forget about that. It's going to be a tough one, but it's possible. I've seen people doing major changes over only a few months and being happy in their lives, honestly.
Yeah, I want everyone who is watching this to know that you can contact Delphine, and I will put in her email address here. She works one-on-one over Skype if you don't live in Geneva. If you do live in Geneva, she has workshops and she can see you face-to-face. Just reach out to her. She's awesome. Thank you so much, Delphine.
Thanks to you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon. Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.